Back to the Rocket League OCE Championship and League Play 5. Got Wolfie at the end of the desk once again, and I got Wolfie, sorry, like obsessed with Wolfie, obviously. My name's Hysterics, and we're into our very last series before we wrap up League Play, Retirement Home and Jam Gaming now jumping on the pitch.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one, but it is a bit of a big grudge match. And now this is the fight for the 5th or 6th seeding, and I mean, it's all up in the air at the moment.
And both these teams have had some inconsistencies in their play, so it could really go either way. Both of them have taken down a team in the top 4, but both of them have dropped to teams that we thought they probably could have beaten.
There was rise and fall for both of these teams, with Jam taking that win against Tainted Minds. Everyone's like, this is the new Jam. This is going to be the Jam that powers through. And then it took a couple of losses where maybe we expected them to win.
And then Retirement Home had their match against Darkside where they managed to steal a win as well. Yeah. So it's kind of anyone's game.
It absolutely is, but I have to say, the two play styles of these teams are very opposite each other. Because you look at Retirement Home, and it's very much the 2 back and 1 forward play style, whilst Jam, it's a lot more solo plays. So it's about whether working as a team is better, or choosing to go for those individual solo plays, which could beat your opponents.
And it's going to be critical. And if you're thinking about the solo plays, the player I always like to look at within Jam Gaming is going to be Bango. Pretty much if he is on, they can win.
Yeah.
If he's off, they've lost every single game that he's been off. So he's a great player to get an indication of how the match will
Do we
go.
define Retirement Home by one player as well? By whether Daze is up there or whether we see someone like, I don't know, maybe even Elusive step up?
Well, it's all about whether they can actually intercept the ball in that midfield and in the offensive positions. So whether they can actually interrupt the plays from the side of Jam Gaming and get all up in their business, that will be the determining factor of how this whole entire matchup's going to go.
Yeah, I think they are less dependent on having a player that needs to pop off. I think they're a little bit more rotational. You know, Elusive's really good about that. And Daze and then Kier, as long as they're consistently rotating as well, I think they'll be smooth.
But the issue is Retirement Home took a loss against Legs Are Silly. And although Legs Are Silly started progressing forward, I think that for Retirement Home, there are a couple of weaknesses there. Maybe the overconfidence of the individual players from Retirement Home, whereas Jam, they look like they work more as a cohesive unit than Retirement Home have in the past.
Well, I kind of think a little bit opposite to that. I find that Jam Gaming actually go for a lot more solo plays, which is what I was saying before, and that's kind of indicative of not working so much as a team. So more about I'm the best player on this team, you two back off, I'm going to take the solo play here. So for me personally, I reckon Retirement Home's a bit stronger, at least in this matchup.
Well, let's start with predictions.
Yeah, sorry.
So, no, getting ahead of yourself. You think you just jump on the desk and start the segment? All right, Wolfie, no worries. So Retirement Home...
Yeah.
If you've got confidence in the in the team itself, then that makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
right?
so it's more about the team plays, and Retirement Home, to me, compared with Jam Gaming, is more of a team play style of team.
Right,
I'm in the same bed. I'm going to go Retirement Home for pretty much the same reason. The rotational style, I think, is more favorable as you start to move up in difficulty. And whilst I think both Walcott and Bango could do some runaway goals, I don't know if it's going to be enough.
The consistency is what you're questioning, but I question Retirement Home's consistency. Taking a loss against Legs Are Silly means that for me, I sit with Jam. And for the final league play, like, they've secured bare minimum top 6 for 5th and 6th now. Jam, when it's on the line to get better seeding, to make sure that they do not verse a top 10 big 6 is not fun. Like, it is not going to be fun whatsoever. So let's see if Jam can climb their way out, or if Retirement Home individually can do the same
well,
thing.
it's a bit of a confidence shaker, because if you can't beat a team who, just objectively speaking, is on the lower end of the league play, then how could you possibly be beating teams like the Chiefs or Legacy or even Darksided?
I think in a case of Retirement Home, it's not too surprising, though, when they do have some of these losses, because when it comes to hours in versus like output of how successful they are, I think Retirement Home are probably the best team in the entire region.
Yeah, well, they're definitely a team that, as we've said multiple times, looks or likes to beat the other teams just to rub it in their face.
Well, as we get into the last series of league play for the OCE Championship, Retirement Home and Jam Gaming will somehow manage to secure 5th or 6th here, and that is because they've had a bit of a run back and forth. Let's see who is the better team. Retirement Home already pushing the ball up, and immediately Jam Gaming have walked away. Right in front of net now, the first shot goes to Bango Courier.
Yeah, he's that runaway player. He's got 6 MVPs. 6. That is an insane number for how little league play there is to make it in.
When you sit down and you consider how Jam Gaming have gone in the past couple of weeks, you think that going against Retirement Home, the experience is just going to trump, especially when Decker has some pretty average stats in comparison to the rest of the league.
Well, Decker is definitely the rookie of the team that has come forward and is trying to step up. This is his first league play, and because of that, there is an adaptation that needs to come forward. And you've seen a lot of growth, and his confidence does waver a bit, though.
Elusive pushing the ball forward with Daze at his side. The center will be there. Elusive now angling as well, but Walcott reads it perfectly. Decker comes through again, and Kia just trying to continue to apply pressure. Daze moving away from the Batmobile, back onto the Octane, and now we'll set it up for the backboard, but clumped in a little bit, Jam Gaming. The defense is quite closely knitted, quite tight. Only minutes passed, but that first goal has set them up for a crack of a start.
And all they have to do is be able to hold it. But Jam Gaming's not a defensive team. They like to run forward. They like to take big risks and win by chasing a huge lead.
Bango now pops it up for a center, and Jam Gaming trying to penetrate that defense. Again, Bango, there's a good setup if Decker can get through, but he's blocked again. Retirement Home getting punished a little bit here, but Jam Gaming, they're managing to get these big clears like this off the backboard, not defended until Elusive steps up. Even the Demolition can't do anything.
They have great rotations when they're on game. Retirement Home, despite the lack of practice relative to some of the other teams, they just smoothly fit together. And they're a roster that if they actually put in the insane amount of hours that some of the other teams do, could be facing the top two.
Good setup by Daze, goes for the solo shot, and Elusive waiting back patiently. Kia will pick up some more boosts, and now you got to wait for him to come through the midfield. Daze and Elusive still around this side. It's a bit slow, but Jam Gaming managed to hold out over the top of Kia now. The breakaway as Bango waits for his time to shine. Elusive pass over to Daze. Good stuff from Retirement Home. Hits the backboard. No contest, and the dunk was a little bit wide. And again, that breakaway now comes from Bango.
And they have another opportunity to push forward. We see that they're trying to get those pass plays in the midfield, but they're really struggling to break past Jam in a meaningful fashion.
Jam walking forward from this right corner. Bango. Double touch out of the corner. Decker doesn't rotate up, and Jam Gaming playing very precariously. Walcott walks forward as well, but Elusive and Daze, they're the ones around this corner. They'll continue to pass it over. Good pass to Kia, but he's demolitioned again.
They got retaliation, though. Daze taking out Decker. Decker did spend a lot of time as the most demoed player, so bullying the new kid is something that just seems to happen.
Well, in front of net, missed by Kia. Decker will be able to recover that one, and Kia from the corner. Secure 5th and 6th now. Jam Gaming and Retirement Home. It's a big difference. Right now, prize pool and also seeding. Off that backboard, it's going to be missed again. And Retirement Home struggling a little bit here to get off the ground. Jam Gaming still holding that 1-goal lead. Over to Bango now, missing the pass. Decker goes up as well. Walcott back over to Elusive, and back and forth really this game has gone so far. There's the shot, but Daze will be able to easily send that away. Decker keeps it to a standstill, bullied out of the way. Bango there with a good angle. Now back in front of net, Walcott comes in strong, and he locks that one down.
Walcott to finish. He knows how to run up a pitch. We saw it last year on the Conspiracy roster, and he's kept that talent all the way through with a great shot percentage and a great finishing touch.
For Jam Gaming, I mean, the individual skill not as high as Retirement Home, but they've put in effort, they've put in work, we know that much. Jam, although they've had a difficult run, starting this game off 2-0 is a sign of good things to come.
Yeah, Walcott is a powerhouse of a player, pulling over a 27% shot rate and able to close it out with the help of Bango,
well,
too.
The 1-2-3 there from Jam Gaming career, that was pretty clean, and beating out all the defense members. Kia getting bumped by Walcott. I totally missed that one. Bango locking that one down, 3-0. And 1 minute 19 to go. Looks like things are looking pretty nice for Jam Gaming.
Yes, assists don't have to come from passes. Another way to do it is just to open up the goal, meaning there's no way your teammate can miss.
Kia goes for the individual dribble, pops it to the side. Now the angle from Daze is read well by Walcott. Jam Gaming really started this off well for Retirement Home, and there you guys were definitely betting on them. But in game one, Jam Gaming looks like they're the more constituted team here. That's going to hit the wall. Elusive. Roll that one off, Jam.
They still have time with Elusive getting that goal with 59 seconds left on the clock. They are down, but they certainly are not out. Elusive is an absolute powerhouse of an offensive player. He's actually the guy that scores the most for them, bringing in 42% of their goals and also the highest goal plus assists.
So now Retirement Home have a minute to play this game. It's sent away. Jam Gaming want to delay as much as possible. They were sitting in front of net until they started getting aggressive. Bango. Bit of a shot. Now Decker for the follow-up, but goes straight past it. Daze and the two other members, Elusive Care, they'll just wait behind him. The center's still there. Elusive punishes it by sending it all the way up. 40 seconds left to go in game one.
with 30 seconds left and slowly bleeding out. And against Jam Gaming, who doesn't like to sit on the defense and take it back to you, it's very hard to stop building pressure.
Walcott, good pass back, will be blocked again, but Retirement Home feeling the sting of pressure. Decker goes up, hits it, tries to get the backboard first, but a little bit too slow as Days reads better. Bango with the center, and seems like Bango and Walcott just working as a cohesive unit, and Decker struggling to get the third.
But at the moment, it's not really mattering, because even with that, Decker getting the occasional demo, they're still managing to take Retirement Home apart and split them in half.
Well, game one goes over to Jam. Last goal. Not even going to be sent in. Retirement Home coming close. Elusive with the solo play, but Jam will take game one and a step closer to securing the 5th seed.
I think a big factor in this game is both Retirement Home and Jam are teams that get scored upon a lot. Like, defensively, they're not always the strongest. And when you go up against Jam, who is a team that just likes to run forward, looking at Bango with those 6 shots, a lot of them coming from those solo run-ups, it's not someone you want to let have all that room.
To be fair, though, Decker did assist, 2 assists there, of course, with the 1-2-3 pass plays, but it was Bango, it was Walcott really stepping up big. I think for Decker, it's been a bit of a struggle of a season because adapting to, you know, the OCE Championship on your first season, and you're like, this is difficult. This is the big boys.
They're big boots to wear.
Yeah, they really, really are. Top 8. And unconditionally, there's best teams in OCE. Decker wants to be a part of it. He wants to make sure he's number 5. Retirement Home, they've had strong mechanics. Always have. How do they overcome what Jam are dishing out?
Well, I think a large bit of it is confidence. I want to see Days coming out more. He is an inconsistent player in that regard.
Yep.
We've seen him go absolutely nuts. He has the highest ever score in Throwdown history with like 720.
Oh, he does too. And
Yeah.
he beat his old previous score of like 580.
Yeah, so he's a monster when he pops off. So what we need to do is we need that to happen. Elusive is a pretty consistent player. He would be the rock of their team if we were to pick one. He's quite consistent in saves, quite consistent in score. But Days is the man we're looking at. He needs to be the gun that shoots and takes the game.
We like rocks. Not sure about guns. We don't like guns. But Jam Gaming in game 2, that quick demolition onto Kia. You can see the passing play was going to the left wing. Kia back in action now. Jam started off so strong and they steal the ball away immediately. Bango brings it back down, and the solo plays from Bango have always been something to trifle with. Stealing the ball, Jam managed to keep it down this side of the field, and the center's denied again, but Jam look like they want to keep possession down at the start of this game. Oh no, I take it back, Korea.
Yeah, the goal nearly set up there. Kia on form in the midfield. He's one of the players that has been over to the RLCS, so he does have that experience. So if they can tap into it and his ability to support teammates that can move incredibly fast, they could lead to great situations.
It's a very different time, very different place for Bango, but now struggling to get up in that positioning. Walcott going to have to read Kia. Good drop down for Elusive. That block from Bango, even better, Red. Something that's a little bit difficult for Jam Gaming right now is to get past this defense. Elusive always matching this ball, but bringing it back down is Kia. The dunk now with a bit of pace on it, and Day's not in the right position, not in the right place. Jam Gaming, hold on.
Yeah, we're starting to see the adaptation coming through now. Kia getting those big passes out, allowing Elusive to try and make these shots, despite the fact that Jam is getting the defense there in time.
Bango goes for the solo play. It brings it all the way back for Walcott. Couple of demolitions now. Decker tries to do the same thing, but it's lost again. Days up for the ball. It's a light touch over to Elusive. Intercept, but the passing plays there. Days again, the center. Now for Kia. But Jam get the touch on the ball. Elusive will be left in defense as Days is the one to clear it. Jam Gaming going to have to start putting that pressure back on. That's a good shot from Elusive, but even better defended as Days comes back in. Hits that backboard. The third touch from Kia, but Jam managed to hold out.
And we've already seen the adaptation of Retirement Home. The game looks so much tighter as Kia sets up these plays for Elusive, and Days does his little confusing dance down the pitch to try put off the other team.
It's only confusing for now until you start understanding it, and that's when things change. From the corner, 2:45. Kia bringing it forward. Days as well. Elusive here, but they get it through. Now for Jam, penetrating that defense, but it's sent back up. Days gets the bump, but he's not more focused on the bump than the ball. A little bit high on that, hits the backboard, and that crossbar also not helping out. Bango losing it to Kia. He dribbles it up, pops it up. In fact, the individual flick. Jam bringing it all the way back down. 5th and 6. Now, important moment as Bango's the one hanging back. 2 minutes 20 remaining.
The pressure keeps building in Jam Gaming's half. But despite this, they're managing to hold the defense, and all they need is one runaway opportunity, but it may not come. With a quick defense from Walcott, maybe enough.
Well, back in time, but this one's angled in nicely. Two members drop on down. That's Walcott and Decker. They're trying to exhaust them out. Elusive with the rebound. Good for Daze. Too far over, Daisy. And Kia will be the one to just wonder what happened. Elusive with the pass over. Daze now going to have to recover what just happened. And Jam Gaming able to push up. Kia with a slow play and then starts putting pace on it. 1:45 remaining. No goal in the second game.
Yeah, but the pressure is still maintained. We still haven't seen a big clear from Jam, allowing them to break into the other half, despite the fact Retirement Home is unable to take the meaningful shots.
Elusive had a slow drop at that. Daze waiting around, but for Jam, this one will hit the crossbar, bounce back out. They were patient enough. Bango doesn't rotate up, and now Walcott has to walk back as well from that backboard. Defended well by Bango. Starting to get speed on the ball. Walcott going to commit up for it, but Bango's there as well. The communication from Jam. Not as crisp as we thought.
Yeah, and we're seeing a difference in the rotational nature of the play styles, right? Retirement Home, stronger rotations, wider. Every time the clear comes out, they're ready to receive it and shoot it right back in. But Jam, individually, are able to stop most, but not all, as Daze slips one through.
Just out of position, Decker too far forward, and it's part of the communication problem from Jam. Daze slips that one over the top, and Retirement Home, with 56 seconds to go, can take the lead.
Yep, 4-minute pressure plays are pretty good. They eventually lead to something.
Eventually. But for Jam Gaming, not out of the woods. Well, Retirement Home out of the woods just yet. Walcott now cheating the ball around the corner. We'll get the demolition, but that's 2 onto Jam members. Retirement Home, that means their defense will not be trifled with for now.
Allowing them to push forward, and another demo coming out. So this is a part where, even though they had all that pressure built up last time, their inability to score can now be alleviated by the use of demos, and we're going to see an adaptation over the course of the game.
Well, that one hits the crossbar, Courier, and comes close as Daze again. Pressure keeps building up for Retirement Home. Daze looking to dunk the ball down. Walcott sends it away. But Jam Gaming, 15 seconds left. Looks like Retirement Home have done enough. A pass through the center does nothing. Walcott clears the ball. Maybe not. Jam are coming back in. That backboard pressurized, peppered, and salted. But unfortunately, the steak was raw. And one goal over to Retirement Home. That seems to be enough. The ball will be dribbled by Walcott. Comes off that left-hand wing, but it will drop eventually. Retirement Home even the score.
And Retirement Home surviving that few shots that managed to come through and then build the pressure on their own was a much safer playstyle when going up against Jam, who can get those runaways. And we can see just how much the pressure was building with 13 shots to 2.
See, that's a lot of shots, Curry.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, but for Retirement Home, you didn't really see it. It was just over such a long period in that game that you were just like, oh, they're having a couple of shots. You wouldn't think, oh, they had 13 shots. Okay, that's cool. Retirement Home and Jam now 1 apiece.
Mm-hmm.
This was the difference, you said, for Jam, they were encroached on a lot more. Retirement Home actually got the passes off this time.
Yeah, and they managed to lock them in their half. And that's why every time they came back, they couldn't get a meaningful, huge clear that wasn't already anticipated by Retirement Home, who were just like, oh yeah, cool, and then just rolled it back into their half and continued the pressure play until they eventually got the goal.
But for Retirement Home, you get flashbacks of them against Legs Are Silly. For Jam, you get flashbacks against a lot of different teams as well. I think now finally facing each other at teams that are at a similar level, when they know they're safe, there's that moments where they might drop their guard and say, oh, it's just 6th seed, it's just 5th seed. There's a prize pool difference, and there's a lot harder challenge on the line.
No, I don't think either team are going to drop back and think, yeah, let's pick like some random stuff and do some strange things this game. They're both committed, they both want to get the money, and they both want the best seed possible. Because ultimately, you're talking about RLCS, and that's the dream.
For 2 of these players on the pitch, they've already beat. Kia and Bango, they've beaten RLCS. Kia, I beg your pardon. I'm sorry, that's wrong. Just Kia. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes my memory has lapses, and I'm very, very sorry. Bango, of course, not on the roster, go to RLCS. But into Game 3. There he was. See, Yummy Cheese Man said he was. I knew I was right. Korea, you're wrong. Don't you ever nod at me. Game 3. Now I'm
say a word.
You nodded at me. You gave me the frowny face like you're wrong. And I'm like, surely not. Surely not. Thank you so much, folks. It's great to be here. And Jam, they score a goal for Hysterics. That's Bango, who went to RLCS.
Yes, he certainly did, Hysterics. I don't know where you get any of your stories from, but great score again from Bango. And as we say time and time again, when he is on, he is a game winner. And the fact they could break away this early, and Retirement Home took 5 minutes of pressure plays to break through, they could be in trouble.
Even when it says it in his title, you know, yes, you were right. Never doubt yourself. Mum always said that. And for Jam, I'm sure their mothers said the same thing. Getting that first goal, Babushka would be proud. But not only that, you could have some plov, some borscht, and celebrate properly. A big clear from Jam brings it right back in front of net. Retirement Home feeling the pressure. I feel like it's on the back of Bango. He's having a pretty successful series so far. And individually, when he pushes up, it looks pretty scary for Retirement Home.
Even when he's defensively, he's the third highest assist, but it's not today when Elusive goes right over the back of him because it's so difficult to score when you're not facing the ball.
Pass intercepted again, Walcott right in front of net. Couple of issues for Jam Gaming, Retirement Home capitalizing big.
It's now one apiece, both in game score and on the scoreboard. So the pressure is mounting, and it's which one's going to crack first.
One apiece, Jam Gaming. Now taking that goal loss, and Retirement Home seem to be switching on. Walcott off this left wing, jumping up again from the side. Daze is there. Defensive again. The bump onto Decker means Bango can't touch it either. And a very different level of play, but Walcott. Man, the solo plays from Jam seem to be working out.
And they got to keep it up, though. One runaway goal may not be enough, as they got pressured out for an entire game, so they need to have a second one to feel confident and get that early lead, so they don't just get held back at bay for an entire match.
Retirement Home slow to the backboard with the runaway from Elusive. He'll try and read that pop-up, and it's been left to Daze from the corner. Decker back over to Bango, the backboard again. We said Retirement Home is slow to the backboard, and there it is, but no one in defense. Decker says bye-bye ball.
This is a classic play from the Retirement Home games. They so frequently get pushed onto the back foot, and the way they get the goals is just from monster clears, from causing their opposition to overcommit. So don't be surprised you keep seeing this crop out when Jam Gaming gets very offensive.
Don't tell me what to be, Korea. I was sure, and you just set me down 3 minutes later. Now, Retirement Home with that one goal. This is getting very dire for Jam Gaming for what was a pressing start. Now it could be a pressing finish. Game 3. Elusive comes in strong off this corner, sets it up. Daze was the one who tried to pepper the salt again from this left wing. Daze walking with the ball. Jam Gaming trying to break through. 2 minutes 40 and still plenty of time, but how do they do it? Getting the steal again. Kia with the pass off this wall. Daze will slowly bring it back over to Elusive. And I have to question, sometimes I ask, what is Daze doing? And sometimes I don't get an answer.
Well, that's part of his play style. He can be very quick to the ball, and he can be very confusing in the way he gets his touches, and it causes the other team to completely whiff what they're trying to do, allowing him to move further forward and create a pressure play.
The passing play goes slow with the ball is Daze again, and this ball's going to get up to the backboard, so Retirement Home under pressure as Bango comes in. Walcott tries to cheat out Daze, and from this corner, they've all pushed up. This is Decker, who hasn't managed to get too much from Retirement Home so far. 2 minutes left remaining. The ball slipping through. Retirement Home applying pressure with something that Jam just can't deal with.
And hopefully they get more confidence as the game goes forward, because Decker's shot rate pretty much doubles when he versus a team outside the top 4, and his confidence starts to come back. So the mental game is definitely a component there, and it could be a limiting factor in who wins.
Passing coming out of Retirement Home a lot more here. Elusive and Daze. Punch up with the ball. Walcott now with the shot. Kia's up for it. Hits that backboard, and the second touch not going to come through from Jam. Daze walking through. And this time it's over to Elusive, but it's missed. A minute 15 remaining. Daze goes slow with the ball, and Walcott's just left it for Kia around this corner. He'll manage to get control, but stolen. And again, for Retirement Home, the passing all the way up the field. It's getting pretty detrimental for Jam.
Yeah, they're really struggling. It doesn't matter how many shots you take, as long as you don't get them in. And that is the name of Retirement Home's other strategy.
That's the name of their game. Career 45 seconds remaining. 2-1. Jam being pressured. Retirement Home trying to push up the field for these guys. 5th and 6th on the line. And league play has been so back and forth. But they know they're safe. They know that Love Dex and Legs of Silly will be going home with no position towards RLCS. Retirement Home want to make sure the seeding is so much better for them. Now for Jam's going to be the last play. Coming around this corner, Elusive. Going to hold off strong. Walcott the pass. Over to Decker, 15 seconds. They're pushing up. This is going to be the last one. No one's in net. But Bango, he'll save it. Is it enough for Jam? As they'll follow the ball all around this corner. Decker wins out eventually. And the pass coming back in. Jam hit the crossbar, but it bounces back down. Unlucky us, but for Jam Gaming, they'll come close. They'll still keep it around this side of the field. Just needs to hit the ground. Jam will take a loss, and Retirement Home are clawing their way back.
Yeah, we saw a completely different play style coming out of Retirement Home that game. The first one they pulled out, it was big pressure plays that they just held for minutes on end. This one, it was more of an inversion where they played very safely in the defense and then used big counterattacks to break through into Jam.
Well, Jam had a great game one. Retirement Home have really switched back on and continue to climb up the ladder in this very short ladder at that. Retirement Home, there's a difference. They feel more like a team. There's individual plays from Bango, Walcott. It doesn't feel like there's passes there, though.
Yeah, it feels a lot more cohesive when you watch Retirement Homes play, but that doesn't necessarily mean you get to win, as we have seen when Bango just pops off, he runs. Walcott is a great follow-up for that as well. He individually managed to do some amazing offenses back when he played on Conspiracy, and he carries that through now, where we see him do some great finishing.
Where does Decker fit in?
Decker needs to step up, and we've seen days where Decker plays really well, but confidence is key. He can be very indecisive in how he plays, and when he steps up, he fills out that roster in a way that allows him to rotate a lot more smoothly.
Isn't it a difference that we've seen so much from, I mean, Jules technically a championship rookie, and then Delusion, just an all-round rookie, and Sammy, who's glue, also rookie. Then you come back to Decker, and I think Decker probably has been the one who hasn't performed like all the other new players coming into the OCE Championship.
I don't think he's had the level of success that the others have, but I think that's a fair thing to have as, yeah. Not
Growing
everyone
player.
immediately becomes one of the best players.
Why
in the
not
region.
Korea? Why not? Retirement Home and Jam, however, rookie or not as Decker, he's going to have to step up big to take this 5th seed. And in Game 4, Retirement Home looking comfortable. The passing play was initiated, but Elusive up for the ball. Someone goes over the top. That was Bango. Days and Kia now, they're going to be the ones to watch. A clear from Decker, initiated well. Elusive up the field, but Bango responds again. And for Jam, this is so big for them. I mean, after being picked up by Jam at the start of the OC Championship. What should I say? OC Championship. Elusive now, dribble. It was a big moment. It was gratification for the squad. Now they're going to prove it. Walcott over to Decker. We'll go past the ball. That was strange. Kia, the pass up over to Days. Now off the side, will dribble with it as well. Decker picks up the boost, but Days has passed it all the way back. Elusive angles nicely, but it's a little bit wide. Kia brings it back in, and off that backboard, Elusive dunks it down, and that's going to be blocked out. Retirement Home getting one of the first shots.
Yeah, that was a strange moment there. Jam Gaming had full possession, and Days then takes the goal from that sneaky shot on the side.
Days again. When he finds the shots, he finds them so well, and they look good. I remember the 1 week, I think it was week 2, where Days just went nuts. He was an animal.
Yeah, when he's on, he's on. That's why he has the record of highest score ever in Throwdown. 700. That is an insane number.
That's solo queue and you're versing gold. Whoa, Retirement Home again. And that was Days too.
Yeah, Days has decided he's going back to his former glory, and it's just absolutely destroying Jam Gaming's defense.
It was a little bit unexpected, the rebound off the wall, but Retirement Home, 2 goals up. Jam Gaming feeling the sting of the experienced squad.
Yeah, and the confidence they had as well. We noticed that nobody was there in net. That means at least 1 or 2 of them had cheated forward, hoping that they'd actually have safety in their defense, but it's just not to be. Days is incredibly fast.
Good defense from Elusive, saves away 2 shots, and now the third's going to be pinched out of their hands. Elusive clearing it all the way up the field, and has had an individual game, if I've ever seen one that should be proud of. 3 minutes 30, Jam Gaming getting pushed again. It's going to be set up 4 Days, but Walcott gets there first. The pass over to Bango, and Time at Home just looked that much more convincing right now. Almost 3 minutes left to go. Kia wants to dunk this one down off the backboard. Elusive brings it forward. Days will come in as well. A light touch, but it'll be sent away.
Yeah, Kia's moving up and just playing so much more confidently at the end of the split, and because of that, it's allowing Retirement Home to have much smoother rotations and play so safely in the pressure plays, but also play so safely in defense. It's just turning them into an immovable turtle that can be wherever it wants in the pitch.
2:45, Jam. They bring that turtle up to this side of the field. Takes a while, but it eventually gets there. 2 minutes 40, and Kia waiting in front of the enemy net. Elusive. I think Kia was trying to beat them out, trying to get a couple of those bumps demos. Elusive hangs back. Kia comes running forward, and the rotations from Retirement Home, you can see they just look a lot smoother.
They always have a member of their team that is where they need to be. So when that clear came through, a player was there to receive it and clear right back. When it went up for the intercept, another player was there to break it with a challenge.
Good use to boost from Daze as he tries to recover the 100, and Elusive gets sent all the way over to Jam. There's a 2 gold lead for Retirement Home, and one that Jam is struggling to get through. Only 2 minutes left remaining. Jam definitely running out of time here, and pass back. Bang goes there over to Decker, and the issue is Retirement Home, they're reading these passes. They're getting some of their own off, and Daze with that hit against that back wall continue to apply the pressure.
And they're struggling to win the 50-50. So there's that moment there where if they got a really nice pinch, they could maybe have pushed it deep into Retirement Home's corner, but it doesn't matter because Retirement Home's always ready if they fall behind demos and goals.
That was a pass and a half from Daze. Watch this one again, but open your eyes this time, ladies and gentlemen. Daze comes in off that back wall, and Kia right where he should be, and now that might not be as impressive as you think, but for Retirement Home to read that just shows how far ahead they are of Jam Gaming.
And 3-0 as well. Jam Gaming style means that they're going to have to take even bigger risks now to get ahead. And when you're 3 down, that's got such a high opportunity cost.
There's just so much pressure. Elusive with the pass middle. The third's here. Kia a little bit wide. And that's more like what we saw when Kia was on the Pale Horse squad. No one in defense, though. And Bango scores a freebie.
They still have 1 minute 16, though. There's enough time to pull it back. Definitely enough time to go for the overtime. It's still anyone's game.
But for Retirement Home, they've shown a lot of constructed play. For Jam Gaming, can they continue to breach? 115. Jam still up, still down by 2 goals, sorry. Bango coming through on the defensive now. He's going to have to take it off the wall. Elusive tries to come through and cheat the ball. It's popped up again for Retirement Home, and Deck is going to be the one on defense, although it's cleared away. Daze waits in the midfield, and Jam have a direct shot on goal, but it's cleared away once again.
And they just have so much control over the pitch. Jam, time and time again, get pushed into their own half and don't have a way to make meaningful shots on goal.
Retirement Home do. 45 seconds. They have another one. The pass over to Walcott. Good pass to Bango, but a save and a half from Retirement Home. I believe that was elusive. Daze gets demoed, but holding out for now. And that could have been Jam's way back in.
And the opportunities are quickly bleeding out. They need to play fast. They need to get those solo plays because they don't have enough time to get 2 passes. But first they have to get out. And that's so difficult when your goal is being shot upon.
Right in front of net. Kia has the shot. The pressure applied again and again. Elusive stealing this ball away, and Jam, that's going to be all she wrote. Decker's going to dribble with the ball, but he does not have enough time here. Elusive keeps it in the corner, and that's all he has to do. I think for Jam, there's been some lines of success for them in the OCE Championship, but there's always been issues. And Retirement Home, they've brought it out. 3-1 is a very convincing score. That ball will land on the ground. The final goal scored by Kia, and Retirement Home will take the series 3-1.
Yeah, 4-1 even, the magic number of today. Retirement Home have got to be happy with that performance. Taking it away and taking 5th seed with it.
So that means, yes, Retirement Home have 5th seed, Jam Gaming have 6th. And for Jam Gaming, there's going to be a very difficult run out of that position because you have such a huge climb ahead of you to get through top 6 playoffs and move into top 4. For Jam, this is going to be a mission.
Retirement Home, happy with their performance. I know they talked about playing games last night. I don't know how they well, but it paid off. They pulled the win.
Well, they found the win against Jam, and that was a very convincing win at that. And Retirement Home to close out the day.
A very satisfying win for Retirement Home too. They've been scrimming hard for this match. They know that they wanted to beat Jam. Hell, Jam refused to scrim them because of the grudge that they have against each other. So they're going to be really happy going in. Not only that, they've both secured 5th and 6th, so we're going to see this exact rematch in the top 6 playoffs.
Exactly.
Double grudge match.
Yes.
Well, for Retirement Home, I know they'll be confident going into that because they were able to shut out Jam in a lot of that series.
they made sure that they were just playing consistently. They got those pass plays going, and Jam never really felt like they were finding each other until the very end when it was too late.
Yeah, definitely too late, especially the number of shots that Retirement Home was putting out relative to Jam just shows you how well the pressure play was going.
Yeah, every single game they had more shots than Jam from what I saw.
A simple series with Retirement Home taking out the victory. However, at this stage, I mean, this is our favourite part. This is, of course, where we have to look at our Omen by HP MVP of the week.
Zen is taking away our MVP. He was that player who really struggled to find his position throughout the entire season, and now he knows where he needs to be. He got the most goals with 6 across the entire day. He also had the most shots.
Talk about a day to step up, right? 1.2 goals per game. That can single-handedly just carry you across the line.
And most importantly, he found that position against Lovedex where he was outpacing them, getting a lot of setups, and then finishing it off. So even though he wasn't playing as aggressive as we normally see, he was able to get forward and get more goals than he was previously getting.
It's good to finally see Zen in the spotlight and a very deserved MVP for our Omen by HP MVP of the week. Now, of course, that finishing up league play, we now have our top 6, and it was defined at the start of the day, but it was finished by the end as well.
We thought it was going to be incredibly close, but look at Chiefs standing completely undefeated at the top.
Pretty much the NRG of our region, and I'm excited to see where they go in the future.
All the way down, you see Small Steps and the only true tiebreaker, Darksided, just edging ahead on games above Tainted Minds.
Could you imagine if they took that 3-0, they would have moved into the finals. They would have found themselves where Legacy now stand, and that finals advantage, it makes it comfortable for Legacy.
Just to reiterate, next week is our top 6, and the 3rd and 4th place teams get 2 lives. They're in the upper bracket of a double elimination, so they get that second chance. The lower bracket, only Jam or Retirement Home, only one can make it into the qualifying match against the loser of 3rd and 4th.
It is such a difficult position that they are now in 5th and 6th. That's why you want it to be higher up in the seeding, and we have our expectations of where teams are going to finish, but next week, starting at 11 a.m. AEST, that's when we find out who will truly start making the run to RLCS.
And it's going to be a tight run, and we've been watching overseas as well. There's a lot of competition internationally, and we're trying to make our mark.
We'll only see 4 teams next week, and they will decide the 2 teams joining Chiefs and Tainted Minds in the online finals on the 29th at 11 a.m.
Of course, Legacy, joining Legacy in the online
Yes,
finals.
sorry.
Yes. No, it's
Stuck in the past.
habit. We're force of habit. But that is it for today, gentlemen. Of course, coming up is EU, and if you're awake at 2 a.m., that's exactly where you want to be, Yummy.
At 4 p.m. UTC, 9 a.m. PDT, and 2 a.m. AEST for those who are extra hardcore about watching Rocket League.
We'll probably be awake anyway, so feel free to, join in the conversation.
And that's their last week of league play as well, where they're determining who's in top 6 and top 2.
Finished NA this morning, finishing OCE today, as you just saw, and finishing EU tonight, or tomorrow morning for us. A big thank you to Yummy Cheeseman and Korea Lord. We will be with you next week, as usual, for our top 6 to top 4 transition. And we find out who joins Legacy and the Chiefs in our on.